My name is Jim Olarte, and this is my Laguna Beach studio, housed in a 1917 original Laguna cottage with really nice high ceilings. And so this has actually enabled me to, create work that is way bigger than my normal scale because the inventory, well, the store has to look really good. I mean, we do custom work and we will make it to fit your project, but I do like to play on a bigger scale, like 2.5 stories, 3-story buildings. Had a couple of installations along those sizes. So I do also collect Solari bells, which are these bronze bells that are cast in Arizona for the building of this one village called Arcosante, which is by Paolo Solari, which is an Italian architect. So he went out there to build like this pounded earth environment. And here's like a whole, so those vintage ones are like late 50s till now. The vintage ones being a little bit more collectible, but they have these beautiful, and they do clay also. There's a big one here. So I went to Arcosante and toured it, and it was so amazing. I bought 4 bells there. And then, so I do work in Manila rope as well. So I have new Manila. And then you can see here too that I also like to work with vintage Manila rope, mixing it with new Manila rope, so that this is a polypropylene rope, which is like lobster trap rope. But you'll see, like, and this is all found lobster trap rope from Cameo Shores, Corona del Mar, Newport Beach, when they used to issue more lobster trap permits. So now that we're in an MPA, they have restricted the amount of lobster trapping allowed here. And then back here in the studio too, like, I have a very specific collection of shells, all from our coast. And like these are like the spirals from a turban shell. There's like abalone remnants and pieces. There's cowrie shells. But again, I'm collecting very specifically, not like across the board. Like I'm kind of looking for, a lot of times I like to find obscure stuff, which is really very interesting. It's like these are the plates from a chitin, which is this little creature that lives on the rocks, but they also have 8 plates in it. So, I mean, this is a lot of chitins. And then another thing, too, I love to collect, which is very obscure, but kind of specific, too, is these are the edges of a chestnut cowrie that have been tumbled, and so I'm making a sculpture just out of these. So they're all individually hand-tied, double knotted, and spaced appropriately. But again, this is like one of those things, it's like I'm not looking for all kinds of shells, I'm looking for something very specific. Which even in my work is like, it's very specific in the work and craftsmanship. Like, like in here, there is new Manila rope and vintage Manila rope. So that when you knot it, you get this very subtle stripe happening that is very, very understated and very handsome. Most of the work that we do is, I like to say it's very handsome and architectural, because it's not, like I'm not trying to make pretty work, I'm trying to make handsome work. Or like, statement work, not little. And then also through this time period, I have found these beachcombing through the years, have found fiberglass from shipwrecked boats. that really I think is a medium that nobody was working in, because it's really regarded as trash. And so it actually took a while to accumulate all these different pieces, and so these are all natural shapes. And then again, another whole series of driftwood, found driftwood, and I like driftwood that has movement, that's got, as opposed to just a straight piece of driftwood. And again, appreciating all the knots and all the little variations in it. And these are all knotted in leather, doing a whole series of knotted stones, which are like, they're almost like my scholar stones. Or look at these big. Or sometimes I'll drag home rebar from the beach and knot it in leather. This is like such a neat, amazing statement. Ocean washed bricks. Beautiful, unusually shaped rocks. Even down to like little tiny driftwood, all in polished hemp. And so then I have this whole series here of panels, which is like what I was showing at the Folklore Gallery. And so this panel is all made of found lobster trap rope. So all these have been found, and you can see like there's weights in it when they used to weigh down the rope. And even like these are intact. So these are actually found on the ocean floor. Like they fell off of a boat. And so they're encrusted with barnacles and growth. And actually I might not even use this. I kind of like them just as they are, as like a remnant, or just a found piece. There it is. It is an art. It is its own art right there. So here again is another beautiful fiberglass sculpture from a boat. And so it's nice because on here too you can see like the outside of the boat, and then you get to see the interior with the fiberglass cloth. And they're always mounted like on a ball bearing swivel so that they have movement. And then and also too, like I get to experiment with, this is all kelp that has been macrame, that was knotted while it was wet, and then this is dried. And then because I get to experiment with different materials, that this is like from the back of an ice machine or a refrigerator, that just became kind of its own sculpture with it's really fun to experiment with different mediums. Had this show up at Indoet Gallery in Ventura with Mark Cunningham and my studio partner Cooper Root. So we presented this show of found objects, even to the point of, this is 15 years of lead weights collected at a tide pool. Well, thank you for the studio visit. I've been in the studio for 5 years and have been making knots for over 20 years. So we do all custom work, and thank you again. So please come visit Laguna and come by the studio.